We used to have sex with prostitutes together in the 1980s. Yes, we all like Stevie White. No, I can't sleep until he's dead. I said, ooh, if he died in the night, I honestly think I would come rainbows.
So we are joined by the one and only Robbie Knox, who is the favourite happy hour guest.
Oh,
So
very kind.
How did that come about? How did you?
What, had ended up being on happy hour?
Yeah.
So I met Jack years ago on some Chinese cooking contest thing before I did YouTube. It's like some branded content thing. And we just became friends after that. And then occasionally he'd ask me to do things for videos or stuff like that he was doing, or just help out with various bits. And I always said yes because I like him. And then got me on happy hour. After I started a YouTube channel, and then after a while he got me on happy hour, and then after just did it a few times, and now I'm on it sort of regular, like a third host occasionally, sort of thing. So yeah, it's going back on Sunday, so we're recording it on Sunday, so very excited.
They are the best episodes though.
Thanks, pal. That's very kind. I thoroughly enjoyed them.
It's all about that song you wrote about Stevie.
Yeah. Good. Yes, we all like Stevie White. No, I can't sleep until he's dead. I said, ooh, if he died in the night, I honestly think I would come rainbows. And so on. Yeah, that's the one. I hope.
I was crying.
I'm just gutted that people can't go to pubs and stuff like that. I have visions of the people around the country. I want to get videos of people around the country, sending them in of them and their mates.
I'll get it going. When pubs reopen for with the Euros and all that, that'll be our national anthem. That'd
be great. Yeah. I want to see like the England players doing it after winning.
A weird question on your Twitter, right? Yeah, I've done a bit of stalking.
Oh, good.
All right. Barack Obama follows you.
Yeah.
How's that come about?
We used to have sex with prostitutes together in the 1980s. No, we didn't know. What we basically, it's not as exciting a reason as that. Sadly, essentially, when I started following him before he was president, he automatically followed back anyone who followed him. Oh, right. It's not. He follows.
Have you ever sent him like a junk text or anything?
Not yet. Little DM.
I sent Boris Johnson a junk text.
Did he reply?
No,
didn't think he would.
Sent him a message saying fancy a game on Warzone, big man, but didn't reply.
Joined in.
That'd be a sick video, that would, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I saw something on. I can't remember who it was. It might have been Tiny Temper. There's some bloke who, whenever he goes out, invites Tiny Temper. I think it was Tiny Temper. It might not have been. I invited him along on a night out, and then like he just got, after like years of doing this, he got a reply from him just going, "One day I'm going to come to one of these nights out." That's it. Something. So you never know.
That'd be sick. Who's the most famous person you've met then? Obviously, you've met is it Liam Gallagher you've met?
Yeah, he's most famous. Meatloaf. David Beckham's probably up there, isn't he? Gordon Brown. I don't know. Boris Johnson, I guess. I don't know. I'm not sure how you rank most famous.
True.
Some of those are up there.
Right? Liam Gallagher was a bit of a messy one, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's good. Yeah, I met a couple of times. But yeah, he's good. He seems a nice guy. I don't know him well, but I've met him a few times. Yeah.
Right, so we'll start with the questions about mental health and everything. Super. If that's okay.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
So I got about 10 questions. We ain't got to answer them all, but.
All right.
So the first question is, what is the biggest challenge you've ever had to deal with in your profession, and how did you deal with?
In terms of mental health sort of thing? Or
just anything.
Yeah, I mean, I think from some mental health point of view, I got made redundant from a job. I worked at Soccer Aim for 7 years, and then I went to did a thing called Channel B, which is like an internet TV thing.
Yeah,
and it was great fun. We did it for 2 years, and then we all got made redundant because it wasn't making money essentially.
Yeah,
amongst other reasons. And it was the first time I'd ever really, since I started my career, not gone to a job like that. And I've been lucky enough never to have suffered from depression or anything like that. But it did. I was saying, like, oh God, what am I going to do? And I didn't really know what I wanted to do because there wasn't particularly a TV show that I wanted to work on because there's nothing I really liked more than
panicking kind of thing.
4 a.m. So yeah, it was sort of kind of like and whilst I don't think I got into depression, I got quite low, and I could see how quickly you could slide from being on a sort of even keel to getting down there. But luckily, I mean, I sort of started up my business then and sort of fought my way out of it. I think it's
what business is that? Is that your? Oh, sorry, carry on.
Sorry. No. I run a video production company as my main job sort of thing. So doing that, I sort of just built that up over the years because my thinking was I didn't really like getting made redundant. So if I've got my own business, I'm not going to make myself redundant. So I might as well just do that.
That's true.
Then I won't have to do that again. But I think when you're sort of don't know, when you can't really see a way out, it's hard to sort of realize, it's hard to see what to do when in reality, it's like, say you move a mountain one stone at a time. You've just got to be doing something to work towards the goal. But when it seems so far away, it can be quite hard to do. Yeah.
You've also got the is it the wine company as well? You make your own
wine. I know. I brew beer.
So that's why. Sorry, beer.
Yeah. No. I've not got a company yet, but the plan is to start brewing, do some sort of collaborations with breweries and stuff, and try and get beer coming out. So that's the future plan for this year. Once we're allowed to go outside again.
Yeah. So do you think like life is more stressful like today in like the 20th century than when it was when you was younger, without making you sound old?
No. I'm 43 years old. I think it's different. I'm not sure. I think in some ways it's better, and in some ways it isn't. Like in terms of mental health, I think there's a lot more awareness of. And I sort of think back. Did I ever have sort of anxiety or depression? And I don't think there were necessarily names for things. There were times when I felt sad and lonely, but I don't know if we had. I don't know what it was. But I remember at uni, a friend of mine. He wouldn't mind me talking about this. A friend of mine suffered from anxiety, and I think in the second year he went away and he'd gone to a doctor and all this sort of stuff. We weren't really aware he had a problem with it beforehand, sort of thing. And there was no sort of understanding or talking about it then, sort of thing. So we didn't really know. So our answer was, all right, mate. We were genuinely trying to help. We were going, why don't you come to the pub? Just come to the pub, sort of thing. And that might have helped in some ways, but also it might not be necessarily going out and getting drunk might not necessarily be the best sort of thing for him. But we've talked about this since then. We've sort of gone, I'm not sure we handled that the best way we could. It was
learning curve, doing it for people.
Well, yeah, no, it is. But now I think there's a lot more information out.
Oh, yeah, there is.
There's a lot more there. So in some ways, the plus side in some ways was I didn't have any social media, or there's not really any video footage of me.
Yeah.
So you can make mistakes and it not stick around. Yeah. Whereas sort of thing now, if you say something on social media, it can be
there forever, isn't it?
It can be brought back years to come. Yeah. So I think it's different from that point of view. But then on the other hand, it's a lot easier to find people going through the same thing as you now, as it was. Whereas otherwise, you'd have had to just looked around and gone, anyone else got this problem? Whereas now you can just sort of Google something. So I think it swings around about. I think.
Because when I got diagnosed with MADD,
what is MADD?
Mixed anxiety and depressive disorder.
Right.
So yeah, I got diagnosed with that in about 2016, 2017. And my parent, they believe in it, but it took them a few years to quite understand like this is actually quite a big problem. My grandma, the older generation, they didn't really they didn't really believe what was happening, kind of thing. But now they all do. My sister works for NHS, so she kind of talked to them about it and all.
That's good.
Yeah, it took them quite a while.
I mean, from my sort of when I was younger, you sort of, as I've grown older, I've got better. I think it's seeing people I think maybe aren't as happy or as confident as they seem. Like there's quite a lot of quite sort of macho men sort of thing. I remember like friends' dads or stuff like that sort of thing. Like those were quite sort of manly men sort of thing. And you sort of, as you get older, you sort of go, they're not necessarily that confident, that sort of happy in life, that it's a sort of thing. And then as you get older, you sort of see a lot of people like that who go into depression or in some cases try and take their own lives and stuff like that. So you sort of do become a bit more aware of things, I think, as I've got older. Yeah.
Well, hopefully in a few years there'll be a lot more funding, and
it's getting better. Right? It's much getting better, and
yeah.
you see a lot on YouTube. I think you see a lot of people talking about things a lot more openly, and there's a lot more fundraising things and talking about Mind and other charities, great charities like that sort of thing. So hopefully, I think it's getting better. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is. So I think people ain't as scared to talk about their problems than what it was a few years ago.
Yeah,
which is good.
I think, yeah, definitely. And I think I'm very much about focusing on happiness, my happiness. I think which can sound selfish sort of thing when you've got a family and kids sort of thing, but it sort of radiates out from everything. I think you've got to look after yourself and make sure that you're happy so that you can help make other people happy, and other people's happiness feeds into your happiness, doesn't it? Sort of thing. If my kids are miserable, I'm not going to be happy. But I think I think it can be very hard to see, but I think people have more control over their own happiness than they think a lot of the time. And you can do things. I'm not in any way taking away from sort of mental health conditions and all that, but I think people can sort of take action, a lot more action than they can perhaps see at times to
yeah. Obviously, you've lived in, was it Canada? You moved there?
I was there for a year, yeah.
Could you see any difference between, I don't know when you moved there, but could you see any difference between the happiness there, like living wise?
There's some things. I mean, I lived in a ski resort for a bit, which is a naturally sort of quite a sort of happy place because people go there. I think people who go there, a lot of people go there are prioritizing happiness over money, because unless you've got a particularly good job, generally there's a sort of ski bum sort of thing. And I think most people are generally quite happy there. Canada in general, I found weird because everyone talks about how friendly Canadians are and how nice they all are. And I don't think they necessarily are any different anywhere else. I think they are outwardly nicer. Like if you meet a British person or an Australian, you can tell within about 5 minutes if they're a cock or not.
Yeah.
I feel for it. Whereas there, like me and my friends, we'd meet these Canadian guys, and because everyone's really friendly and nice outwardly, it takes a while to work out what someone's really like. So we'd be hanging around with like some bloke for like about 2 or 3 weeks, and I'd go to my mate and go, "Do you think this bloke might be a prick?" Okay. He's going, "Yeah, I was just thinking that. I think he's a prick." It just takes a lot longer. Whereas here, I think we've got a better system here where you can sort of go, "Oh yeah, he's a penis. Let's ignore him."
Yeah.
Whereas there, it was much harder to work out.
I've been to a lot of like third world countries. I've been to Kenya and all that. Obviously, the living conditions there are shit. Obviously, but everyone there is completely just happy. It's just way to think.
I think there's a thing about like money has no relationship to happiness. Money, not having enough money for the basics can cause unhappiness. But overall, I know people with not a lot of money who are incredibly happy, and I know very wealthy people who are incredibly depressed, sort of thing. And I think a lot of it is just focus how you focus on things and what you have and what you need, and not trying to keep up with people. I mean, where I live, there's a lot of people with very nice cars. The village I live in is sort of on the edge of London, sort of thing. And I've got like a 2008 Vauxhall Vectra estate that's got a dent on the side from where my wife scraped it down a trolley thing in Sainsbury's. But I don't care, because I look at everyone else. It's a car. I don't drive a lot. It doesn't bother me. But most people have got under 2-year-old Range Rovers that they don't own. They lease, sort of thing, and pay 500 quid a month or whatever for.
As long as it's A to B, that's all that matters, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, it doesn't. None of these things bother me, and it doesn't. I don't care if someone looks and goes, "That guy's car's rubbish," because it doesn't affect me at all. It doesn't matter.
Say Barack Obama follows you on Twitter.
Exactly. Does Barack Obama follow them? They might do. I don't know. But either way, I mean, it's what other people's opinions are, I think people put too much faith in. I did a video on this a while ago talking about on my YouTube channel, talking about how to ignore what other people think about stuff.
Yeah.
And the way I look at it is because I think it's going to be a problem with people being paralyzed to do stuff because they worry about what their friends are going to think and all that. And I think for one, people overestimate how much people care about them. I mean that in a nice way. I mean most of my friends, because I started doing YouTube, I wonder if people are going to think I'm having a midlife crisis. But most people don't care. They're not thinking about you. They've got enough stuff. They've got stuff on. And also, if people if people go, oh, this is stupid, like, that's their opinion. It doesn't matter. Like my kids don't. Some of my kids don't like. My daughter doesn't like eating cooked carrots. Like that doesn't mean that's her opinion that cooked carrots are nice. It doesn't affect me. I'm not going to go, oh, I won't eat cooked carrots then, because it's someone else's opinion. So if that opinion you can discount, then why do you consider other people's opinions on you?
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's hard. It's hard. It's not easy, but I think you've got to try and get yourself in that mindset. I've gone off topic here, haven't I?
No, that's fine. It's fine. That's all right. So you've obviously done a lot of big projects with Soccer AM. Everything like that. Obviously, I'm assuming they're quite long hours. Everything. Obviously, you're gonna get like stressed from that.
Yeah.
So how did that make you feel physically?
It's weird because I did some shifts where there was a couple of times where I ended up working overnight from the Friday, so getting to work at 8 in the morning on Friday, and I'd work all the way through for like 30 odd hours a couple of times. So it was ridiculous in hindsight. There were bits that it taught me resilience. I think it's good to push yourself. There were things in it that were silly, like the amount of some of the sort of hours that we did were ridiculous. It's not the best environment for things, and the sheer amount of work was quite stressful. But I think the more since I've done that job, I've never thought in work I've got too much stuff to do, because I know you can, if you make a list and you go through and go do that, you can get through. Stuff. I mean, it has taught me resilience. I think it's good to put yourself in tough situations and sort of build up that sort of stoicness about you.
Yeah.
But equally, there are times when your body isn't in a good way mentally. You sort of lose concentration, stuff like that if you're tired. So it mixed bag again.
Yeah, I worked in the manufacturing and engineering industry since 2016, and then I stopped last year because of my mental health. The hours weren't bad, but because I did an apprenticeship and I didn't really get taught anything, and then I used to just get put onto a job. I was like, I ain't got a fucking clue what I'm doing, but no one would obviously listen and tell that I couldn't do anything. I was outside all the time, locking, like fucking. It was shit. But I want to learn to. If someone don't listen to me at work or something, just keep on bugging them.
Yeah, ask questions. I don't think people mind if you say I don't know what I'm doing. I think a lot of the time the worst thing you can do is pretend is not say I don't know what I'm doing. Sort of thing.
Oh yeah,
because most things people don't know what they're doing. I've no doubt that Barack Obama, we've mentioned a few times, I've no doubt that he got into the White House and went, I've not got a clue what happens now, sort of thing. But I think a lot of it is, I think there's a power and there's a sort of strength in asking for help in things. I think it's a lot of the time, like I said, I want to start some kind of brewery this year. I don't know how to start a brewery, but I'm just gonna ask people until I know how to start a brewery, sort of thing. So I think asking questions is the way to go, and being honest and just going, I don't know how to do this. I'll learn, but I don't know right now. I don't know.
Yeah. I've got a question there. It goes, what kind of advice would you give to a young person who is just new to social media? Obviously, there's a lot of bullying and everything on social media, and a lot of snowflakes and everything.
Yeah, I think they've given us a lot of tools to deal with things now on social media, so you can block people. You don't have to have a public facing profile. You don't have to accept. So I've blocked people all the time, and I block people on social media who people aren't nasty to me. I will, if I go on Twitter and someone's being racist or rude or something, I'll just block them in general.
Yeah.
There's a lot of politicians and stuff like that I've just blocked because I blocked the Prime Minister. I don't, because I think he's a knob. So I've just blocked. So I've blocked him on Twitter, not because he's like to be messaging me, but then he's not going to pop up in. I'm not going to get annoyed by seeing something. I think you've got, and I think they are good at, the algorithms are good at giving you stuff that you want to see. I think the other thing to remember about social media is that anything you put out there is there forever.
Is there forever, yeah.
Or can be there forever. It might well just be a sort of thing. So to do that. So, and also try and every time you post something, try and think about if it could be construed in a different way. I know this is getting quite analytical. Like this morning, I just tweeted. I've got Football Manager Twitch stream, and I've got the German Cup final tonight for Borussia Mönchengladbach, and I wrote a tweet with my suit. So I'm going to get my cup final suit ready today.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah,
because we're going to beat the. And first of all, I wrote the disgusting subhuman team of Freiburg. But then I thought subhuman. I thought I wonder. So I tweeted that, and I thought, where's subhuman come from? And so I researched the phrase and looked back through it and looked through it, and it said like its origins come from like 19th century racial abuse of racial sort of stereotyping like that. So I thought, do you know what? Although 99% of people won't make that connection, I thought there might be some people who will go, that's got racial undertones, something like that. So I deleted the tweet and changed it to disgusting people or something like that. I can't remember. But so I think trying to be as aware as possible of what might cause offence to other people is sort of quite a good way to go.
Very nice suit though.
Thank you very much.
Very sexual suit that is, Robbie.
Thank you. Please do. One second. So I'm just being interrupted by my kids. So I'll tell. I'm just doing a podcast. I'll come back. I'll come see you in a few minutes. Okay. Thank you. Sorry about that.
So I have a break whenever you need, by the way, mate.
No, it's all fine. It's
sure?
They're just used to wandering in, so I've just locked the door.
So I've got the first controversial question. Oh. It goes, do you think stress and mental health leads to drug or alcohol abuse / addiction? I think it can do. Yes.
I think yeah, not for everyone. I think I think if friends have become alcoholics. I mean, Tubes, if you know, it's a good friend of mine. He's an alcoholic.
Is he the one who had the heart attack?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, so he's a soccer AM presenter, had a heart attack. But I think leading up to his alcoholism, I'm not sure the timeline exactly, but his dad died a while before. I think that brought him down a bit. And I think that probably, I don't want to speak for him, but I think that probably contributed. I think it certainly can. And I think if you've got to keep an eye on things. If you are down, you think, oh, like during lockdown, the start of lockdown,
I was drinking every weekend.
I was drinking all the time. Like every day, I was like I'm just going to finish about one. And after a couple of weeks, I thought, this isn't sustainable. Let's knock it on the head. So I think you've got to sort of keep.
Yeah, I wrote a fact down.
Yep.
I said it's common for people with social anxiety disorder to drink alcohol to cope with social interactions, and then doing this can lead to dependence on alcohol during socializing, which can make anxiety symptoms worse.
Yeah. I think that completely. I don't think that's particularly controversial. I think it's sort of. I don't doubt that for a second. Yeah.
Yeah, because when I used to go to the pub before everything went to shit, if I go to a pub where I've never been before, but my mates have, I'd have to get pissed really quick. So
because you're uncomfortable in the new environment.
Then I start feeling comfortable, but it's not. I barely go to a pub that I don't know anyway. I just go to my local.
Yeah.
I get free drinks. So.
What is it? Yeah, that's good. That's all right.
Might as well stay there or not.
Yeah, you might as well. 100%.
So if you could go back to school,
yep,
but as a teenager, without sounding paedophilia,
yep, okay.
Do you think you'll struggle mentally or physically? So you go back to school in 2020 as a teenager. if that made any sense.
So I've got the knowledge I've got now, or am I just going back in time?
Yeah, just go back in time, but to school in 2020.
I don't know. I think it would have been. I think if I went back with the knowledge I've got now, I'd have the best time at school because I wouldn't care. I'd be unreal. I'd be amazing. I'd be like the best person at the school. If I was just a teenager now instead of in the 90s, I think I probably would find it harder because I wasn't a particularly confident child.
Oh, no, I struggle.
So I think in that respect, but then also I was quite into computers. I'd probably be quite into the internet. I'd probably be aware of other people, sort of other people in the same sort of thing. So I don't know. Yeah, I think I probably would have struggled a bit more than perhaps I did.
Yeah. Was you a popular kid?
But then actually, having said that, I think schools are more aware of stuff like bullying and mental health and things like that than they were along in the past sort of thing. So maybe, I don't know, maybe I think schools are nicer now than they were. So I don't know. I'm not sure. It's a good question. Was I a popular kid? Not especially. I had friends and stuff like that, but I wasn't like one of the cool.
You kept your circle small.
Yeah. I mean, I think I sort of would talk to everyone. I think, but I wasn't like in the cool kids gang. But I think I was generally quite likable. Yeah, I sort of just did a bit of everything. Like I represented, like, you know, you have houses in schools. I represented a house in pretty much every sport except for swimming. But I only represented the school in a couple of things like that. So I think I was all right. I think I spread myself wide. I was all right at everything, but not particularly excelling in anything.
I've got another controversial question. This is the last controversial question. Yep. What's your opinion on smoking weed for mental health?
I don't know. As in, I don't have a big opinion. I think you can see some people I've known who've smoked too much weed.
Yeah,
you can see it end up with. Sort of
have you ever tried it? Or?
Not really. No, I've eaten. I don't like. No, do you know what I mean? I've eaten things. I don't know what they're. I don't like. I've never smoked a cigarette. I should have smoked one cigarette for a sketch on Sucker AM. I don't like the idea of smoking, so I've never done that. Rather than a particular desire. When I was in Colorado last year, and so I thought I might try, because there it's legal and you can get like gummy bears and edible like that. But then I didn't, because I was driving at the end. I stayed in the system for a while, but I didn't want to do anything that might impair my ability to drive. Because they were saying it could be days later. It could still be. Yeah, it's just I don't do that. So no, not really.
I think it can. If you smoke it once a month, once every 2 months, but if you smoke it every day, then you need to realise you've got a problem, kind of thing.
Yeah, I think it's like a lot of these. Like, I'm not anti-drugs. I've not really got into anything, but I'm not anti-drugs in general. I mean, there's lots of interesting stuff about sort of people microdosing, psychedelics and stuff like that, and all these sort of things. But I don't. I've never really. I thought I'll drink booze and that's enough for me. It's a new habit.
Good old booze.
Yeah, good old booze never causes problems. Booze.
No, never causes fights or anything.
It is mental. If they invented booze now, there's no way.
It'll be banned.
Yeah, I always think if you're an alien, you came down from space, and you came to Britain, and they go like, "What do you sort of need to survive?" Aliens, when you go, "Right, what do you sort of need to survive?" And you go like, "Oh," and you walk around town with him
on a beer,
and you go, "You need a bit of food, and you need some water and all that." But mostly it's food. Water comes to your house, and mostly it's food. And they go, "Oh, and all these little shop things that are everywhere. Are they all selling food?" They go, "No, they're pubs." They go, "What pubs?" They go, "Oh, they sell this drink that makes you not really know what's going on, and if you have too much of it, you're sick." So we have those on every corner, but like just one supermarket every 5 miles or something like that. So you get food every 5 miles, but this drink that makes you feel weird, you can get everywhere. Right, cool. Must be weird.
I'd love to see an alien get pissed.
Be good, wouldn't it?
It's sick.
Absolutely leather to get ET on the booze.
Jesus Christ. I do miss the pub stay, not gonna lie.
Oh yeah, I can't.
Just socialising.
Yeah, I was doing some. I did some filming. I think I called Max Fosh the other day, and I bumped into Bambino Becky afterwards because she was filming after me. And The only time I've ever met her was when we went out
On a
in the summer
walk.
drinking by the river on a walk. Yeah, and we were just saying to us, we said to each other, God, how nice would it be to go out just to get drunk by a river now? Sort of thing. So yeah, as soon as lockdown's over, I'm going. Like last after lockdown 1, I was like, oh, I'll wait for a little bit, check it's safe before going to the pub. The minute it's lifted now, I'm going out.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, I'll be queuing. Come on, it's 11. Get open.
I live in a small village. I live in a small village, so it's not that many people here. So my local pub's just like a working men's club.
Is it? Yeah, we've got. I live in a village. There's like 1,800 people here, but there's like 4 pubs. There's 4 pubs here. Yeah, Jesus. A big village.
Yeah, I think we've got about 1,000 people, 800 people.
Yeah.
Mostly it's just old people.
Is it?
But tell you something, they drink.
Oh yeah.
I've seen some 8-year-olds with walking sticks, like waddling home. I'm gonna walk you home.
Do you ever remember that? I mean, you might be too young for this. There's a story. You know, William Hague, the politician. There's a story. He's not like a cool-looking bloke. Like, I think that's fairly fair. He's a conservative politician. There was a story in a newspaper that he said that when he was younger, he used to work delivering beer for a brewery, and he said every place he stopped, he'd have a pint of beer, and he said he'd have like 14 pints a day. Jesus. And I think that's so made up because it's not on the floor. But yeah, because it's not. It sounds like someone who doesn't really drink guessing what a lot of booze is and trying to be impressive.
Yeah, but 14 beer, that's a lot.
It wasn't that. So I didn't believe it. I thought that's so made up. And it used to really make me laugh that he'd said it. But then one day I was getting a taxi in London to Shoreditch. I was doing some work, and the guy saw I had camera gear with me. He goes, "Oh, what, are you on TV?" And I said, "No, I used to be, and I used to be on Soccer AM and all this stuff and chatting." And he said, "You went, oh, you're like the second famous person I've had in here today." I was like, "I'm not really famous," but I said, "All right, who did you have in before?" He said, "Look at this." He got a photo out of his phone, and it was like William Hague, this politician, this Tory politician. He said, "I've just dropped him off round the corner in Shoreditch. He's going to a pub for an all-day drinking session." I was like, maybe I've got this guy wrong.Maybe William Hague is
like a legend
of the booze. So yeah, I apologise to William Hague for doubting him.
Oh Jesus! Oh, I do miss the pubs there. I just want a whiskey and coke.
Would you? I'd like a nice beer, nice craft.
What's your favourite craft ale?
At the minute, I really like stuff that Verdant Brewery, which is a brewery down in Falmouth, I think maybe in Cornwall way. They do one called, I think, 300 Laps Through Your Garden. That's a nice, really fruity pale ale that I absolutely love. I'm going to have one this evening. Got my last one of my order ready. So I really like that. There's a load of really good. If you like a sort of fruity beer, not as in one that's flavoured with fruit, but one that's got a fruity sort of taste to it. There's a lot. There's some brilliant beers out there at the minute.
I'm just a whiskey. I like all whiskey. Yeah, I love whiskey.
I had a big night at uni drinking like Southern Comfort. I haven't been able to touch whiskey since.
Yeah, I've had some bad nights on whiskey.
Yeah, it does that, doesn't it?
Yes. Especially when you wake up in the morning. Jesus, that's bad.
Yeah, with anxiety or you mean hangover?
Just both. You think about what did I do last night, and then people.
It's weird isn't it? Because I remember when I remember thinking back when I was at uni, I remember having a night out. Because I think things seem so big at the time, don't they? Like, oh God, what have I done? I've ruined my life. But I remember having a night out where I said something. I was talking to a girl and I embarrassed myself or something. I can't know what it was. It was a friend of a friend or something like that. I remember being so embarrassed the next day. But now I think back at it, and I can't remember that girl's name. I can't remember what she looks like. I can't remember what I said. Her friend that I knew, I haven't seen for 20 years probably now. Anyway.
Yeah.
So, like, it's so something that seems so big at the time. Afterwards, you go, it didn't matter, did it? In the grand scheme of things, that was not important.
And the worst one for me was when my local pub they got new owners, so they had like a massive piss up to say goodbye, and I got spiked with 4 Viagra pills.
By who?
My mates. I was drinking those of whiskey. I could not remember last night or the night before, and my mates messaged me saying, "How was the Viagra? Is it still, I was like, what do you mean?" And they told me all these stories about I was trying to move past people, and obviously it's a busy pub, so you don't want to touch a woman on the leg by accident. I was walking past.
Oh, so had it kicked in?
Yeah,
it
kicked in.
worked?
It kicked in at the pub. Yeah, I was gone. The Viagra was bad.
So you didn't know that this had happened, or
I didn't. I knew it then because it told me, but when I woke up, I just completely forgot the whole night.
Wow.
Yeah, that wasn't a good night.
You need better friends.
I don't even speak to him anymore.
Oh, fair enough then. There you go.
I've got one last question then.
Yep.
We've kind of talked about it in there, but do you think there needs to be more help for people suffering mental health, and how would you help?
Yeah, 100%. There needs to be more help. How would I help? I do try to help. I get a lot of messages from people, who say my videos, which I wasn't expecting, say my videos help their mental health. There's a guy recently who sent me a message saying it was, I think recently, it was during like the first lockdown. He said, like, we just had our first child. Things haven't gone well, and the baby's in intensive care, and I can't go in because of COVID.
Yeah.
He said, so I just came home and I watched 10 hours of your videos to try and chill out, which is really lovely. It wasn't something I expected. I'm glad people do that. I think in general, trying to promote kindness and chasing happiness is what I'm going to do things. So being nice to people. If someone's angry at you online or something like that, just think about, why are they angry? It's not because they're happy. It's not, and have a little bit of compassion in this and go, rather than just shouting back at them, and then they'll just get more angry and it will just go like this.
Yeah.
Just sort of play it down or laugh it off where possible. And I'm not saying you put up with endless abuse sort of thing, but you can just mute them or whatever like that and move on more kind. A good example, my friend Alex, he lives out in Walthamstow in sort of east of London, and he was getting the tube into central London to go to work. And so he got like a 25-minute journey. As he was getting on, it was a really busy tube, and he bumped into someone or something like that, or there was some kind of altercation. This guy started having like this sort of mind argument. Oh, watch out, mate. Oh, swearing F off and all this sort of stuff like that. But then they're on this train, and they're like next to each other. They can't move for 25 minutes, just next to each other, both like sort of seething like this. So they got right into central London after 25 minutes. And the other bloke just turned around to him and went, mate, I'm really sorry. I've had such a stressful morning. I'm really sorry for getting angry with you. And I'm really sorry too as well. I just at
least he apologised, I suppose.
Yeah, and it was lovely. And I go, do you want to have a hug? He went, yeah, I'd love that. And they just had a little hug on the train, went their separate ways and never seen each other again. So you never know what's going on in someone's life. Like you could see someone driving badly and you could think, oh God, what an idiot, something like that. Or you could sort of think, he might be trying to get to the hospital, take his sick child who's just had some injuries. So you don't know, it probably isn't that, but if you try and sort of go for the sort of kindest option, I think it sort of helps. And I think there's a lot of people just shouting at each other on particular social media. So I think just try not to get involved in all that. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I could never go to London. I don't think I couldn't manage on the train.
No, I used to, when I was younger, I used to think I'd hate to live in London. And then I went to Norwich for uni. I was like, okay, this is a city, this is all right. Then I went to Vancouver, which is a bit bigger. Yeah. And then when I was traveling, I went to Mexico City, which is huge. I was traveling around. So after all that, I was going, oh, well, it's probably all right. Yeah, London. It was a great place for me to live in my 20s, but I wouldn't want to live then.
If I had like people with me, I'd be fine. But I think on my own, I could.
Yeah,
I couldn't manage that.
Yeah, fair enough. Not for everyone.
One thing that does cheer me up is that story you told on Happy Hour about nearly having your balls cut off.
Yeah,
that I could watch that on repeat. That will always crack me up. That will.
It was.
How did that make you feel?
It was. Yeah, I mean, it's a long story. I mean, if people want to hear it, they can hear it on Happy Hour. But it's when it was happening. Long story is I had a thing called testicular torsion, and because of a doctor's handwriting, originally when I went to the hospital for my pre-operative assessment, instead of the form, they were going to cut off my testicles, and I had to make sure it wasn't correct. Even at the time, even though it was a bit scary and a bit weird, I remember thinking, this is going to be a really good story afterwards. As long as I don't get cut off, this is going to be a story. And I think life's about stories. I think that's the meaning of life. If you can sit in a pub and have enough stories to keep the chat going, I think you're doing well.
Yeah. That always gets me. I'm surprised you actually replied to my tweet because I tweeted like Duty Rhino, Stevie White, like other YouTubers and like counsellors on Twitter. You're the only one who replied, so cheers for that.
That's all right. I mean, I think people are. I mean, I've got nothing else going on in my life. I'm just sat around here. No,
Yeah,
I think people. I think people are busy. Don't necessarily see.
Oh
things,
yeah.
And also forget. Like most people who ask me to do a podcast, I will say yes to. But then the problem is, I will not. I'll be in the middle of something when an email comes in or something. I won't reply to it. So I think the lesson is to politely repeatedly ask people, as long as you're not harassing someone turning up outside their house. But I think most people want to help, and what's the worst that can happen if they don't? Like you say, don't reply. Yeah. So yeah. I mean, well, you're very welcome, and I've had a thoroughly nice time.
Thank you very much. So I've run out of questions now. I just wanted to know if you've got any questions that you want to ask me about how my mental health.
How did you first? Yeah, I would. How did you first? What was it called again? MADD. MADD. What were the first sort of symptoms, if it's the word? What were the first things that you sort of realised that it wasn't that you had a problem? If that's the
it was word. At college. I was doing bricklaying.
Right.
And my hands were just constantly. It was my second course. It wasn't my first course. So I knew the college really well. Yeah. I knew a lot of people there, but my hand was full on like that all day, every day. I was getting teachers telling me like, "Are you on drugs?" I was like, "No." And then my tutor, because you
didn't know what you were doing, you're worried, or what was?
No, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
So
did you feel all right?
I felt all right mentally. I didn't feel all right physically.
Okay.
And then my teacher said, "I've booked you with a counsellor if that's okay with the college. Here's the date. You don't have to go to it, but
right.
If I was you,
good.
I would."
That's what I'm saying about modern day school things being better. That would never have happened when I was younger.
Yeah. And then on the way home, because I got sent home, I rang my sister up who works for the doctors. So I said, "Right, I'll put myself in." And then I was like laughing to her, saying, "My teacher thinks I've got anxiety or depression." And my sister turns around and said to me, "Yeah, I think you do as well." I was like, "Right. Oh, cheers for telling me now."
But you had no idea beforehand.
I had no idea, no.
Right.
So it's
cool. That's interesting.
And then I think my granddad dying as well. I think that got me a lot as well. I was really close to him, so I think that hit me quite bad. But yeah, I've 6 years now I've suffered from it.
And how are you doing now? How are you today?
I'm fine today. But when we first started the call, I was a bit anxious, but
yeah,
I think.
And in general, has it got better over time? Would you say, or is it the same? Not really.
Not really. No, I'm being tested for bipolar as well, so I'm constantly on different tablets. So.
Right.
Yeah, I'm on these tablets that make me fucking angry, so I've stopped taking them.
Oh God, yeah.
I don't really want that.
I think there's this. It seems to be with a lot of these things. There's a lot of trial and error with different.
Oh
tablets,
yeah, there is.
like that,
I've been on loads.
To get the right things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good luck with it, and
I'm slowly getting there.
Hope you get there soon, or things improve a bit.
Yeah, I finally figured out what I want to do in life, so that's kind of.
What's that?
I want to do counselling.
Brilliant.
So I'm currently at Open University, so 6-year course.
Nice, and that'd be great. I think you obviously got a good understanding of these sort of things, so I imagine it would help. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I thought I might as well try and set up a podcast about mental health, but then also do other podcasts where it's just random talking.
Well, it's good, isn't it? It will help people. I mean, even if not millions of people see it, if it helps one person.
Oh yeah, that's all I care about. Are you able to tweet this out or?
Yeah, of course I can. Yeah. Let me know it's out. I'll share it. Yeah. No problem.
Thank you.
Brilliant.
Right. Well, I'm gonna stop recording now.
Wonderful. Thank you for that. I've enjoyed it. It was good.